another couple who also have facilitated many groups, and to have many people right now participating, particularly in Slovenia. Steve and Barbara, as you've listened in on this conversation, share with us additional insights that you have, that those who are watching are thinking, how do we do this effectively? What are some things that you've learned that we can maybe incorporate? As you were listening, what would you say?
We like to emphasize that this is not a therapy group. I think that word in itself is disarming and helpful for couples, particularly who's starting to lead a small group. We're not expecting the lead couple to have all the answers, as you've already pointed out, and that by itself is helpful. We're also not expecting, the group is not intended for couples to air their particular specific challenges that they have, to make it known to everybody else in the group, and it's not the responsibility of the group to provide counsel to each of the couples who were there. So it removes that kind of therapeutic idea and the notion that they're going to have to be sharing, their personal challenges or struggles. We also like to say to the couple who, particularly who are leading, if they're honest about their own challenges, the way, for example, I as a man had misjudged Barbara's heart in my own relationship. She's a good-willed woman. It doesn't always mean that she's chosen the best approach towards me, but if I've misjudged her heart and her motive, then I take responsibility, and I can openly talk about our own relationship. And that kind of vulnerability provides the opportunity for other couples to identify with their own misjudgments of their partner's real heart. If she does the same towards me and my need for respect, we have found that couples are quite, rather than being critical of their partner, they become quite quick to identify with this whole love and respect dynamic. And it's almost as though there are confessions being made without even asking for them. Whoa, I'm seeing that I've made some mistakes, and they're far more prepared to address that than they are the mistakes that they would perceive in their own couple. And I think that by itself just creates such a real and open and honest dynamic on the group.
Mm-hmm. No, that's huge. That's huge. Barbara, do you have anything to add?
If we see that there's a couple who might be struggling, or we're perceiving that there's something behind, so we invite them for a coffee. Would you meet with us for a coffee? We can discuss. So they're always willing to meet for a coffee, where they become more vulnerable, they share their own struggles, and then we can help them how to implement love and respect in their particular situation.
For the individuals watching who feel like, if I got together, I don't know if I feel inadequate. I don't know if I have the answers. I feel like I would fail. Maybe I would make things worse, that I'd mess it up. What comment can you make to that individual who has those concerns?
I think people are just generally they're thankful that somebody is so interested in them that is willing to take additional time. Like, for example, we had one couple who's leading a group for the first time, and two couples didn't show up. So they called them if they would want to meet, or they would lend them the DVD, and they said, we're so busy, la la la. And so they just actually, during the holiday time, they called them and say, hey, we're in the area, could we stop by? And so they stopped by, they invited them for tea, and next time they joined the group back, and they say how thankful they were just that somebody showed interest and concern for their relationship. So then kind of felt, I think, on the other side, a little bit obligated to come back.
Yes.
And now they're improving their relationship.
Yes.
So I think just to be released out of that fear, what do I need to do? Just listen to them, their own struggles, and we might not have all the answers, but...
We found that most couples, over a certain period of time when they're in the group, they kind of get it. They start to understand the spirit of their spouse, even though they may not always agree with particular behaviors. But once they understand the spirit of their spouse, it's as if they can find the answers themselves to their challenges. And I find often our role as a group leader, particularly for me as the male, is to help the other men in the group see the validity in their spouse's heart, that she is a good-willed woman, and to honor that, to see that her motive isn't to send him the message of disrespect. Oftentimes she's just crying out for love. And if men hear that from another man, they start to maybe see things a little bit differently. And Barbara does the same for the rest of the women in the group. And it helps create a fair playing field for all of us, and a willingness for them now to maybe address their issues. Now they have some tools in their hands to be able to talk about some of the challenges that they're facing with a different spirit, with a different attitude. And that by itself begins to bring hope into their relationship as they begin to experience change in their actions and reactions with each other.
And this is not information that you come up with. This is in response to the video presentation, right? So like the topic of goodwill, then it's going to precipitate a discussion about that, which then allows you to make comment. It's not like you got to come into the group and come up with these ideas. You're really responding to the, plug and play kind of approach to it. So there's this body of content, and then after that content is presented, people kind of want to start talking about it, and that allows you at that point to chime in transparently or, male to male to the dynamics that you're addressing.
And sometimes we ask them when we have a next lesson, can you share just maybe one thing from the previous lesson that really touched your heart or made you think or it's resonating with you? And so we would start with what touched us, and this kind of opened for discussion, and everybody can share. Not everybody's forced to, some are quiet, but most cases people share.
Yeah, and if we recognize that someone might be a little bit quiet, we might ask them directly just to share one thing off their list from the homework that we asked them. We try not to be too
pushy, maybe?
Yeah, not too pushy or demanding. There's another word I'm looking for, but I can't find it. We're not forcing them to say anything, but we want to help them to be involved, because we're not asking them to share about things from their relationship so much about commenting on what it is that you have shared that's been impactful for them. So really, as a way for small group leaders, this is extremely empowering for us, because we can always defer to the expert, to the person who's presented the content, and all we have just the joy of being able to comment and reinforce and simply agree out of our own practice in life things that you've shared.
Oh, we can always blame it on you, like Emerson said.
exactly
Well,
right.
Emerson said.